Good evening, Facebook friends and family. Hope you are all well. This is Teri Moten, the small business problem solver, and I am coming to you this evening to bring some additional information to you that can hopefully help you grow your business and help you really be able to utilize LinkedIn as a resource to grow your business, help your career, or just really be able to get to a different level of wherever you are right now. So what I'm going to do is just maybe wait 30 seconds or so as people are starting to come on. Again, this is Teri Moten, the small business problem solver, and I am here to solve one of your big problems, and that is being able to network but using LinkedIn. So we're going to give it just a few seconds. So, want to find out of you that are on right now, how many of you are on LinkedIn? If you are on LinkedIn, if you have a LinkedIn profile set up, put yes in the comment box. If you already have a LinkedIn profile set up, please put yes in the comment box. Because one of the things I'm finding is that not a lot of people really know how to utilize LinkedIn the best way possible to be able to utilize it for networking. What I found is when people are using LinkedIn, number one, they really don't utilize it to the fullest. They have a profile that's barely filled out, doesn't have a lot of information, certainly wouldn't be enticing for somebody to want to connect with them. Thanks, Justin. I see you've got LinkedIn. One of the things I'll be doing too is connecting with you afterwards. So look forward to kind of expanding my connection with you, Justin. But again, in terms of using LinkedIn, I found so many people don't have a proper profile set up. And if they do, they don't utilize LinkedIn to the fullest of its ability to be able to network, increase your business, increase your sales opportunities, and increase your relationships. So when you looked at LinkedIn, one of the things is I have seen so many people that also, they may have 500, 1,000, 2,000 plus connections, but it seems like they are just connecting for the sake of connecting with people. It's like they want to get a notch on their LinkedIn connection belt. And what I want to do is show you how to really use LinkedIn with your networking. So the first thing you do is you don't want to send a generic invitation to somebody. So you've got the ability to just click send when you find somebody you want to connect with. Don't just send a generic invitation, because so many people do that, and it doesn't allow you to really stand out. So from the very beginning, you want to stand out as a professional. So I'll give you an example of what I say when I send a LinkedIn invitation to somebody. What I say, and it's pretty much word for word, and I tailor it to them. So I don't just do something generic. It's really tailored to them. But I'll say, hey, Joyce, I'm expanding my circle of HR directors, and I would like to have you as a part of my LinkedIn network. Looking forward to being a resource to you and your organization. Warmest regards, Teri R. Moten, MBA. So again, what I do there is I'm wanting to really connect with that person, and I'm wanting to let them know specifically why I want to connect with them. So it may be because they're in a certain field, they're with a certain company, it may be that they're in a certain industry. But again, what I'll say is something like, Stephen, I'm expanding my circle of hospital administrators, and I'd like to have you as a part of my network. I look forward to being a resource to you and your organization. Again, warmest regards, Teri R. Moten, MBA. So again, be specific when you send out that LinkedIn invitation. Keep in mind the whole goal of connecting with somebody on LinkedIn or any platform you connect with somebody. It's for you to build a relationship. It is not for you to go in for the kill as soon as they accept your connection, your invitation, it's not for you to go in for the kill and start, vomiting all over them with your product message, your service message, and trying to close the sale right there on them. It's really designed, if you want to do it properly, for you to build that relationship. So all I'm looking for is when that person accepts my invitation to connect, what you'll see is half the time, you may see them not say anything at all. They just, click that they accept your invitation. The other half of the time, what I'll see is, again, because I had an engaging invitation to them, the other thing that I'll see is they may say thanks. They may say, thanks, Teri, looking forward to connecting to you. But my goal is once I have connected, I don't leave it right there. You've got to go further. Again, if anybody out there, if you're connecting on LinkedIn and you're just connecting for the sake of connecting and not really using it as a networking and relationship building tool, you are really missing a golden opportunity to increase your business, to be able to increase the network that you have and increase that sphere of influence that you have. So once somebody has accepted your connection, here's one of the things you should consider doing. This is what I do. They'll accept my connection and then I'll send them a response back. And it may say, Monica, thank you for connecting with me. I really want to make sure I'm able to be the best resource possible for all of my LinkedIn connections. Can we set up 15 minutes over the next week and talk by phone? Again, just a simple reply back to them. Once they've connected with you, especially if it's somebody you strategically went after to connect with on LinkedIn, don't leave anything to chance. Don't just let it be happenstance. Follow back up with them, as soon as you see that they have accepted your connection, and just ask them, let them know, thanks for connecting with me. I'd like to be a resource to all of my LinkedIn connections as much as possible. Could we set aside 15 minutes over the coming week so we can talk and I can learn more about you? That's my whole goal. My goal is to learn more about that LinkedIn connection. Again, it's not for me to go in and verbally vomit and, try to close a sales deal. I want to learn about that LinkedIn connection. So what I'll do, like I said, I'll try to just set up a 15-minute time frame. They don't want to talk to you for an hour. Most times they don't want to talk to you for 30 minutes unless the conversation starts to be engaging. So I ask for just 15 minutes and I set up time to call them. And during that call, it is all about them. It is nothing about me whatsoever. I do research, do your research before you have that conversation with them. Don't just connect with them, get the phone number and the day and time to call them and you don't know anything about them. I'm not saying that you've got to go through and do an FBI investigation, but spend 5 minutes before you have that phone call. Look through their profile, find out some things that, you would like to know more about, that you would like them to go deeper on. And look for areas, look for questions that you can ask that show them you want to be a resource to them. So for example, one of the things that I always try to do when I connect with a LinkedIn connection, a LinkedIn contact, is I want to be a true resource to them. So number one, I either want to provide them with a resource. It's something I have access to, some information that I have, something that can help benefit them, in their career aspirations or in their business. Or the second thing I want to do is I want to send them a referral. So as I'm talking to my new LinkedIn connection, I'm asking things like, how did you get into that line of work? Why did you decide to open that type of business? So I'm trying to, again, get some general information. And then I start digging deeper so I can be a resource to them. I start asking them things like, what's the most challenging thing that's happening in your industry right now? Or what's the most challenging thing that's happening with your business right now? I ask them things like, if you can connect with somebody, hey, Eric, good to see you. I ask them, who is it that you would like to connect with? because, and I'm upfront when I tell people this. A lot of times they don't believe me till they get to know me. I tell people I've been truly blessed by God to have access to a huge network of people and a huge network of resources. So I'm trying to find out from that LinkedIn connection what it is I can provide to them. Again, I want to know about them. I want to know, if they've got a specific type of contact that they may want to connect with, that can help them grow their business or grow in their career. I want to know what their ideal client is. Who is their ideal client? If they are in sales, if they're a business owner, I'm asking them things like that. And as I'm talking to them, I'm taking notes. It's not just I'm just throwing this stuff out here and I really don't care about you. I really do care about getting to know that person so I can truly show them I can be a resource. And as they're starting to give me information that would help them, I'm starting to go through my mental Rolodex of, okay, who do I know that fits that criteria of the type of person that they may be looking for in terms of an ideal client? Or who do I know that has access to resources that this person says that they need? So again, that 15-minute time frame, it is all about that LinkedIn contact. It is not about me. And when I wrap up the conversation, I'll let them know. I'll say, hey, Eric, thanks so much for the time, that you took in talking to me. I let them know exactly what I'm going to do. I let them know, after listening to you, I think that I do have a potential referral or a potential referral partner for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the two of you by email so you all can take it further. Or if there's a resource that I have, I'll let them know, hey, I do have a resource for you that I think may help you in your business or may help you on your career path. When we get off the phone, what I do, and I'll be honest with them with the time frame, because I'm on the road quite a bit. And so I'll let them know it may be this evening, but by tomorrow, I'm going to send you a follow-up email with this, that, and the other resource. And I follow through with that. I send it to them. I'll give you a great example of a LinkedIn contact that I connected with. Actually, he requested to connect with me. And you can do it that way too. When somebody requests to connect with you, if it's somebody you really think that, hey, we may have an opportunity to down the line work together, refer business to one another, have a mentoring relationship, make sure you follow up with them. Don't just leave it that they sent that request to you. You clicked OK, that you accepted and go about your business. Don't do that. Follow up with them and let them know, hey, thanks for requesting a connection with me. I always like to be a resource to as many of my LinkedIn contacts as possible. Could we set aside 15 minutes in the coming week so I can get to know you better? So again, capitalize on that. But I had a gentleman a couple of weeks ago that requested a connection with me. He was new, kind of in the business, the medical sales industry. He had actually come out of the construction industry. And he lived in Florida. So, I asked to contact him, called him, and we were talking. And then it was all about him. I was finding out what type of clients he wanted. What did he need since he was new in the industry? And I took the opportunity to actually give him, in terms of a resource, give him a little constructive criticism. On his LinkedIn profile, on his picture profile, it was him standing next to a tree, giving the peace sign. And so I told him, I said, now understand, I say this in love. I don't know you, I'm just talking to you for the first time. But as a business professional, I have to tell you this in love. I said, on your profile picture, try to make it a headshot. It doesn't have to be you don't have to go out and do a professional headshot. You can take it with your phone. That's fine. But I told him, I said, try to make it a headshot because people want to see your eyes. People want to be able to look in your eyes and you look that you're trustworthy, not standing by the tree holding up the peace sign. So he graciously took that. We talked about personal development. I told him that since he was coming into the business industry, personal development was going to be very big for him. And I gave him 2 different personal development speakers that had helped me a lot. And I told him to look up information on YouTube, look up videos on John Maxwell. And I told him to look up videos on Jack Canfield. And those are some things that would help him. He was very appreciative because I took my time to give him a resource, to listen to him, to really look at what I could do to help better his situation. And so we are still in contact, and the next step is looking at being able to refer business to one another. But remember, when you are connecting on LinkedIn, it is all about that other person. If you have an opportunity to talk with them, whether it's by phone or if they're in your local market, sit down with them for coffee, let it be about them. You want to be, there's a term, if you haven't heard it, but it's called Go Giver. Go-Giver, Go Giver. You want to be a go giver, meaning you want to give to others. When others see that you care about them, they are automatically going to say, hey, this is somebody different. They're just not out for themselves. They're just not out to, try to slay me with that sales sword right off the bat. They really want to help me, and they are much more inclined to help you because, especially if you're in sales, how many of you have heard that saying, people do business with people that they know, they like, and they trust. Again, saying that's out there, and if you heard it, put yes on there that you've heard that people do business with people who they know, like, and trust. And that is so very true. The other thing that I'll say is, as you're building up, your LinkedIn contacts, and especially those that you want to really develop further relationship with, periodically send them, you might want to send them an article. You may see something online that has nothing to do with you, but you think, hey, that might be a good resource or a good article for the person that I just met a week ago, or the person I met 2 months ago and had a LinkedIn conversation with. Again, it doesn't have to be some big elaborate book and novel you're sending them. Just, tag an article to them, email an article to them, and let them know, hey, I saw this and I thought of you. Hope it may be helpful. That goes long ways, miles and miles and miles, to help people really say, hey, man, that person was thinking about me. When we connected, it wasn't just some, random thing. She really has put some thought into, what helps me. So again, be sure to send some things out to them. Kind of as I start wrapping up, one of the things, and I'll tell you right off the bat, one of the things, yes, absolutely, Justin, it's word of mouth. And one of the things I tell people is, don't think word of mouth is just limited to your local marketplace, to being right there in your town or your area. Hey, Jean, hope all is well with you. Word of mouth can absolutely be done virtually, be done online. You can have great word of mouth recommendations, from people that you have never physically met yet, but you've developed a relationship with them online through social media and those sorts of things. One of the things I tell people, don't get overly wrapped up in it. Be strategic, but don't think, oh my gosh, it's just this big old horrible thing I've got to do and I've got to keep up on it and I've already got Facebook and blah, blah, blah. LinkedIn is going to give you a different type of person, typically. LinkedIn is that professional network. Many of the people that are on LinkedIn, many of the professionals that are there are in the 6-figure income range. So it's a different type of person that is on LinkedIn. And they are on LinkedIn because they want to grow their business. Somebody is on LinkedIn because they want to, again, increase their sales opportunity. They want to, get word out about their business. They are looking to develop referral relationships. They want to connect for business opportunities. It is not people like we are on Facebook and, posting pictures of what we had for dinner last night when you're on LinkedIn. So don't feel like you can't approach somebody on LinkedIn. Don't feel somebody is unapproachable. I have connected with numerous, CEOs. There may have been sports figures, things like that. And again, I don't connect just for the sake of connecting. I'm connecting because I think somewhere down the line, we may have a viable opportunity to either work together or they can become part of my network and I can provide resources to them. And that's the way that you build up to having a network. You connect with people, you find out what resources they have, what resources they need, and then you fill that need for them. And then you reach out to them when you need something and they can fill that need for you. But that's how you use LinkedIn. And like I was saying, let it be an easy process. Don't be stressed out by it. Even myself, I don't utilize groups as much as I possibly could. Now, I have kind of become a member of about 50 groups, so I don't necessarily suggest that. I'm not active too much in them because my concentration is building one-on-one relationships. So not so much. I know you'll hear some people that tell you, and that's very true. You take whichever path you want. You can absolutely join strategically different groups in LinkedIn and kind of work those relationships and be able to show, the knowledge that you have, be resourceful. So when people need your type of service, they say, hey, I've been seeing Tracy in there. I've been seeing Debbie in there. They have been contributing. I know I can contact them and ask some information. But for me, because of just limited time, I choose to develop one-on-one relationships with LinkedIn. And for me, that's gotten much, much, much further. But let me give you a quick tidbit, and then I'm going to wind down. Does anybody use articles on LinkedIn? Has anybody used where you can publish an article on there? If so, put yes. I know it's something that's fairly new. It may have been out over the last year or so, but you'll see it if you go to LinkedIn and go to your profile. You have the ability, kind of like Facebook, it'll ask you if you want to put a post or if you want to write an article. So when I first started looking at that, it got me all stressed out because I was thinking, oh God, I would love to write an article, but how am I going to come up with all of this content to put an article out there? Then I learned something. You don't have to write the information. You don't have to come up with the original content. There's nothing new under the sun. So same thing with LinkedIn articles. Here's a tip for you. What you can do is if you come across an article of information, especially if it's pertinent to your field. Again, if it's something pertinent to your field, to your industry, that by putting that information out would allow you to look like more of an expert in your area, here's what you can do. You can copy that article, do a copy and paste of that article that whoever wrote, doesn't matter who wrote it, but do a copy and paste of it. Now, you're not trying to have copyright infringement or anything like that, but you can copy and paste it on where you click write an article, paste it on there. Make sure, here's the big key, make sure you cite the source at the bottom of where that article came from. So give that author credit, whether it was from a magazine, from a newspaper, or whatever it was from. Give the author and that source credit, and then you can use it. Put that out there, and what it does though is it makes you look like more of an expert in that area, and you did not have to come up with that original content. So when it comes to sharing information, again, information that helps you look like more of an expert, you want to be a curator of information, meaning you want to just gather information as possible and put it out. You don't have to come up with the original content. So as I wind down, again, one of the things that, you all know is I work with people who have small businesses. And really the branding that I have is I am Teri Moten, the small business problem solver. And that's what I do, is I can solve whatever your small business problem is. I've got the resources and access to people, information, and things that can help solve that for you. But there's specifically right now a couple of type of businesses that I'm looking at working with. So number one, the first type of business, so please, if this is you, or if you know anybody that fits this description, please be sure to tag them in this video, or share it with them so they can get in touch with me. Or if you need the information, please, put a comment on there or inbox me that you want this information. But if you have a business and over the next 12 months, you will be hiring even one employee, doesn't have to be 500, even if it is one employee. If you're going to be hiring any employees over the next 12 months, I need you to contact me. And here's why. There is a tax credit that most people do not know about when they hire employees, and they miss out on it. It is very cumbersome to go through the process of qualifying an employee for that credit, but I've got the resources where we can take care of that for you. And here's why you want to contact me for doing any hiring of employees, because that tax credit on average is about $2,400 per employee, up to $9,600 per employee. That's not a tax deduction. It is a bottom line tax credit. So think, if you hire 2, 3, 4, 20 employees over the next 12 months, and they are able to qualify for this tax credit that you get to utilize, it will save you a significant amount of money. So if you are hiring any employees in the next 12 months, contact me. Put in the comments, need employee information, and I'll follow up with you and get that to you. Or if you know any other businesses who are hiring, again, tag them on here and let them know that I can help them with that tax incentive. And I work with your tax professional and your CPA, because I'm not a tax professional, but I do work with them to help make sure you can get qualified for it. Second type of business I'm looking for is any business who wants to have affordable access to legal services. You all know that one of the things I do is educate the community, and I'm a representative for Legal Shield. With Legal Shield, as a business owner, you can have access literally to an entire attorney firm for starting as low as $59 per month in the palm of your hand. So many resources that come along with that. You can pick up the phone an unlimited amount of times, ask whatever questions you have them write letters on your behalf, make phone calls on your behalf. And not only is it an entire attorney firm you have access to, it's an entire firm of business consultants that you have access to, starting at $59 per month. So that's something I would love to be able to at least get the information to you. Not trying to take the place of your current attorney or a current legal professional if you already have that in place. But if we can save you some money, because the Legal Shield attorney firm can review a contract and you don't have to pay for it, again, that's more money in your pocket. The last type of business I'm looking for is this is a business that has sales revenues of at least $250,000 annual sales revenues, because what I have the ability to do is completely complimentary. I can come in and do an assessment of that business. It is a head-to-toe assessment that goes through every area of the business, and I'm trying to identify and show that business where there is profit leakage. There are so many areas that businesses are leaking profits. Sometimes they know it and they just don't know how to get a handle of it. Sometimes they don't know it at all. But what I'm doing is trying to come in and I can show you exactly where your business is leaking profits. I can give you a dollar amount of over the next 12 months. Here's what your business is losing out the back door, so to speak, in terms of profit leakage. And I also will help that business be able to start really going through, what is their business vision? What's the personal vision? What's the exit strategy? but I'll do all of that initial work on a complimentary basis. That diagnostic is about $2,500 if I were charging somebody for it. But what I'm trying to do is show businesses, let me come in, not take anything from you, but let me show you where you are losing money and how I can help you recoup that money, increase your revenues, and really within the next 12 to 18 months, be able to double revenues. So again, hope this information has been helpful. This is Teri Moten, the Small Business Problem Solver, and I look forward to helping each and every one of you in your business and those you know who are in business. Have a great night.